Tonight, we're going to do something a little different. We are going to spend an hour with someone I think people are going to be hearing a lot more about in the weeks and months to come. Congressman Dean Phillips. He's running for president. He's challenging President Biden as a Democrat. Now, let's be clear, not as a third-party candidate. So if he loses the primary against Biden, he's not the spoiler candidate who hurts Democrats. He's trying to beat Biden in the Democratic primary. But that hasn't stopped many establishment Democrats from trying to marginalize his campaign. And with President Biden truly struggling in recent polls to beat Donald Trump, I've said this before, I am stunned more Democrats aren't at least focusing on his candidacy. Recent battleground state polls show Biden losing to Trump by 4, 5, even 10 points in states Biden won in 2020. And I keep asking, why aren't Democrats freaking out more? Some of those same polls show a generic Democrat beating Trump easily. Tonight, we'll cover a range of issues from how he could actually win to Israel, the border, ask some of your questions as well. Welcome to Democratic Congressman Dean Phillips from Minnesota, candidate for president. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Great to be with you, Dan.
All right, so let's start with the big picture question. Why are more people not taking your candidacy serious? I mean, I talk to people who are well informed about politics, and I say, oh, I had Dean Phillips on my show the other day, and they say, who's Dean Phillips?
Sure. Well, two reasons. The country doesn't know me yet, which is going to take some time. But the bigger issue is I'm a threat to a system that many people are trying to protect. And that's a problem. It's a duopoly, it's a political industrial complex that is always focused on a core nation, not really accustomed to a competition, particularly when you have an incumbent president. But this is an unusual time, Dan, as you just pointed out. Donald Trump is going to beat Joe Biden. I'm just going to say it again. Donald Trump is going to beat Joe Biden. Most people know that. But the conversations are all they're having them privately. They're not doing them publicly. That's the difference. It's going to take a little bit of time.
And you know what the Democrats say, because I've often said to people who come on the show who are Democrats, I say, look at the polls. They tell me why the polls don't matter. They tell me a year out, polls often change. They tell me that when people realize that it's ultimately Donald Trump versus anybody, they're going to vote against Donald Trump. And their position is that they think that people like you are being way too alarmist about the polls today.
Alarmist? I think people who are not being alarmist about Donald Trump are delusional. That's the whole reason I'm here today. That's why I'm running for president. It's not what I anticipated. I tried for a year to encourage the president to pass the torch, spent the better part of 6 months encouraging candidates who are better known than I am right now to enter the stage. This is what you do in democracy. You practice by actually having competitions. So it's going to take some time for that delusion to pass, but I've not seen one shred of evidence, not one shred, that Joe Biden is positioned to beat Donald Trump. Not one. Every poll, every single poll relative to his approval rating, intuition back home, conversations, literally, this sounds ridiculous. I ask every person I encounter on my campaign, are you ready for change? I found 3 people. We keep count. 3 people have said, no, I'm happy with either Joe Biden or Donald Trump. That's why 75% of the country right now is saying they don't want this. And the political industrial complex is trying to protect the status quo and not encourage a competition for Democrats. It's dangerous. It's really dangerous.
So how does it work, right? You can't even get on the ballot in a lot of places, right? Yeah. So as a practical matter, let's assume that your candidacy starts getting some traction, right?
Sure.
Let's assume you do well in New Hampshire, surprisingly so, right? And people say, whoa, this guy Phillips, who is he? Did pretty well in New Hampshire. But then what? I mean, you're not even on the ballot in a lot of these states.
I'm going to be on 40 ballots, at least. Is it easy? No, because the system, Dan, is designed to prevent competition. Now, publicly, the Democratic Party would like everybody to believe that we believe in debate, we believe in voter participation, and we believe in thoughtful candidate competition. But the truth is, behind the scenes, every single one of those categories is suppressed.
Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.